Okay, so welcome back to this course. So now in this section we will start deploying our application on Heroku, and also we have to push it on GitHub, and also we have to connect it to the online database. Alright. This is my MongoDB account. You can see that I have already created my cluster here with the name ShopIt. You can definitely create it here by clicking on this button. And after creating the cluster, you have to go to this database access. I just want to tell you that you have to create a new user here. Just click on add new database user and provide in here the password and username that can access this database. And you can also provide here the permissions, right? And after that, you also have to go to network access and make sure that you add the IP address here. I have added 0.0.0.0. This means that everyone can access it, right? So after adding the database access and in network access, you also have to add the IP address. You simply have to go to cluster, click on this connect cluster, connect your application, and click copy this string that helps us to connect to our own MongoDB database. Okay, and I want to show you that I have already pushed my products in the database by running the npm seeder before recording this video, right? So these are just our data.json products. I just want to tell you about that. Alright, simply go back to the VS Code, go to config.env file. Let's create here a new variable that is called db URI. Okay, that is this string, and let's replace this password with your password that you have created in the database access. So this was my username and my password is also same, so simply copy it, and the DB name I put here ShopIt. Okay, so press Ctrl S, that's it. Go to database.js, and here you have to use a DB URI instead of the local URI. Simply save it, and now if I type here npm run prod to start my application in the production mode, you will see that our application is connected with now this online database. Alright, simply close this one, and then I go to the now I have connected the online database. One more thing that I want to also prepare my application for the production in this video, right? So first of all, what I do is I simply go to my app.js, right? And before app.js, I simply go to the new terminal and cd the front end, because I have to create in the front end folder the build folder. Okay, so the build folder contains all the files that we actually need in the production, right? So to do that, I simply type here npm run build. Alright, so this is the npm run build script that will help us to build that files. Alright, so in the front end folder, simply you have to type npm run build and press enter to build the final files for the production. So you can see that creating an optimized production build. So it is creating our production files that we have to actually deploy. Alright, so I will generate in this video to just show you, but we will add a script in the package.json file, and Heroku will automatically create that, and I will show you that all stuff later, but I don't just have to create it. Okay, so all files are created successfully. If I go to my front end folder, you will see here a new folder that is called build. So build contains all the files that we need in the production. So this is the main file, that is index.html, that we have to use. Alright, so what I do is I simply close this build folder and go to my app.js, and here I simply type here that if process.env.node.env is equal to production, okay, then I simply have to use that file, right? Because I have to run my front end and back end on the same port. So I simply type here app.use, and I simply pass in here express.static, and then I simply pass here the path.join, pass in the directory name, and then the // front end / the build folder. Alright, and also we have to need to bring in the path. So const path requires the path module, which is the built-in, and then setting the folder, I simply have to use here that file. So simply put in here route, so app.get for all routes, put here request and response. In that I simply res.send file, I will send the file in the response, and that path is going to be path.resolve. In the resolve, I simply pass in here the directory name, current directory. Then I go back in // front end slash the build folder and slash the index.html, which is our main file. Alright, so if I press Ctrl S and let's actually test it out. If I go to here, I think so we are running already. Yes. If I go back to my Chrome and type here localhost port 4000 instead of 3000, because now we are running on the same port. So press 4, press enter, and you will see here we get nothing. So let me go to my inspect. On the console we have some error, cannot read property role of null app.js 112. Alright, so go to the app.js. I think so we have some bug. As source app.js, and 122 is this one, or 112. Oh, so what I do is, because we don't have user right now in the basically state, so that's why that cannot read property role of undefined. So what I do is I simply first of all bring in my is authenticated just to avoid it. So is authenticated, okay, and I bring that in. I simply go back and let's put in here the is authenticated. So I check that. I first of all wrap this inside the bracket, and before the role I also check that if not is authenticated. Okay, put in the or. Now if I press Ctrl S, now we actually have to generate a new build for that. Okay, because this is the front end. So simply go to my second terminal again and let's generate the build again. Alright, so now if I go back to my Chrome and let's reload it to check it out. If I reload it, you will see here our all products. Alright, so now these are coming from our online database. I think so we have hammered this image in the database. Alright, just ignore it right now. Okay, so go to page 2. I got here my other products. Alright, so now you can see that we are running our basically front end and back end on the same port, that is 4000. Alright, so now you can simply go back. One thing that we have to do is we simply have to go to our back end and we have to go to controllers, alt controller, and here in the reset we have to pass in the URL. So what I do is simply replace that. I hope that you remember that thing, which is this one, right? So we don't have to pass in a front end URL. Instead, I simply pass in here request.protocol. Okay, so first of all, request.protocol, that is, it is HTTP, HTTPS, or FTP, whatever you have, then // and then I simply put in here request dot get the host, right? And then /password /reset of, in this case it will be HTTP port which is local 4000, and then /password, then the reset, and this is actually what we want, right? So now we don't need the front end URL here. So simply save it, and now we are done. So we have successfully connected to our online database, and also we have built the production file. And now let's also go to our package or JSON file in the backend. Now we don't have to actually create this folder. In the front end, we don't have to actually create this folder here. We don't have to deploy it. What I do is I simply in my package.json pass in here a script, and Heroku will automatically create the build folder when we will deploy it. Alright, so I simply type here first of all Heroku, then post build. Alright, you have to put in here the comma. So Heroku, then the post build. After that we have to pass the script that we want to run. First of all, I simply type here npm underscore config underscore production is equal to false, make it false, and also npm install dash prefix. We have to install in the front end, so front end, and also we will simply put in here npm install prefix, and then put in here, so not install, we have to put in here run, because we have to also run the script to build our folder. So that is npm run build, and the prefix that is front end, right? So npm config production is equal to false, then npm install is front end, then and npm run build to build the final production file, right? And that's it, I think so. Also, we're done here. We don't have to deploy this build. And now let's also create one more file for the Heroku. In my root folder, I created a new file that is called proc file. So procfile file, that is for Heroku, and I will simply have to pass in here this web app and run it with node backend / server.js. Simply save it, and that's it. And in my next video, basically, I have to push this complete code on the GitHub, right? So I will create my gitignore file, also add my read.empty file that I have actually created in my Chrome. You can see that right here. And then we will push it on the GitHub. And also I will have to add some code more in this app.js. Okay. So I will see you in the next video.